Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Advance here, and welcome back to some more Star Citizen. Now today we're going to be doing a bit of a, first of all, look around the outside of the Cutlass Black, and then we're going to move into a little bit of a flight test in Arena Commander and see how it fares out. Now there's quite a lot of changes actually internally. First of all, to the physical HUDs. Then this is not the end game HUD, this is the, let's say, the statistical information you're going to have later on down the line. It will be more branded towards the Drake brand, and it'll follow suit with the rest of the ships as well. So let's take a look outside first of all and see what we've got. Now this is pretty seriously animated, this ship. Now, if you haven't seen it before, I'm going to try and move in this sort of position. Now you can see that if you actually look on the body there, there's standard thrusters now, fixed mounted thrusters there, which sort of do small movements. And them small movements are basically, the main thrusters don't move when that happens. Now if I do a fast movement, you then see obviously the main thrust engines actually turn. Pretty crazy really. I might be able to get another view there as well, so you can have a look. You can see there, look. Move into this view now. Forward thrust. Sounds pretty cool. One of the things I thought was a bit odd is when you're on forward thrust and you turn, right? I'm still thrusting forward, but the thrusters are not facing forward, if that makes any sense. Some few little things a little bit odd. But it lives true to what the commercial said on how it actually maneuvers. It's pretty blooming crazy how this thing blooming works, but it does look absolutely fantastic. And I think the flame effect looked quite nice as well, and yeah, it just looks all around like a fantastic ship. It looks great, doesn't it? The lighting looks really good. Let's take a fly around inside now. Now, some of the basic weapons you get with it, you've got the standard sort of fixed mounted weapons in the centre. Now they're not too bad. You can actually fire them for quite some time. I'll give you sort of a bit of an example how long they can go on for. If you look at my heat there, you see when it starts going a little bit slower. So it actually fires for quite some time. But saying that, I think it's more probably I would say the ball turret weapons you're probably going to be using more often. Now, the first thing I found with the ball turret, sounds pretty cool. I like the sound of it. I don't know what you guys think. But look at how quickly it generates heat. And I'm just going to wait until it's fully sort of ready. So here we go. Picks up heat quite quickly. Not bad, but you see how quickly that heat gauge went up. I mean, if you start firing these ones, it's a lot slower. It's a lot more progressional. These ones do seem to heat up quite quickly. Let's just see if we can, while we're here, I don't know if I can actually see the underside of it. Try. You can't really. It's going to be very difficult, isn't it? Now, one of the other things I found with this ship, because this is actually the first... It's fair to say it's the biggest ship. I was going to say the first big ship. It's the biggest ship so far. It's slightly bigger. Well, you know, you're not going to say double the size, but bigger than the Hornet. I think the Hornet's 22.5, and the Cutlass is 29 meters. So there's a little bit in it. Obviously, this can take more crew. It's a little bit heavier. Does carry more cargo units. It's got a slightly bigger, obviously, power plant as well. And what I've noticed is because this is sort of one of the larger fit ships, when you actually go to aim, there's an element of aiming towards the target, and then if you look at it, it drifts a little bit. So if I try and aim on that rock now, and it goes on the rock, and I try and pull it back, it drifts past. Makes sense, don't get me wrong, but it's the first time I've experienced that in a ship, in Star Citizen. I think because now we're moving into them bigger ships, it sort of makes sense, doesn't it? A bigger ship, you can't snap on target and hold that target. It just tends to drift past a little bit and you have to keep pulling it back. And what I found is the best way to do it is don't push up too hard, you know, do like slight movements. So you're doing smaller movements like that, so you don't necessarily have to drift past. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into a bit of Vandal Swarm, and let's test out some of these weaponry and see how we get on. Right, one sec, guys. Right, first of all, I think that this ship is very very, very challenging on the fixed mounts. So I like my fixed mounts weapons, but I find on this ship it's very difficult to aim it. That's not me saying that this ship's actually bad. What I'm saying is this is the first larger ship that has come into Star Citizen. The reason it's challenging is because you're in a larger ship and you're trying to turn on a target that is a lot faster and can maneuver at a faster pace than you can. So it's sort of pretty obvious why that is, really. Once the bigger ships come into the game, using that center fixed mount is going to be a lot easier because the physical target is going to be moving a lot slower. So now, I haven't actually shown this off yet before. This is in the latest patch. Don't normally use missiles in my videos because, you know, it's easy to point at something and blow it up with a missile. So I try to use the main weapons to give you a good example. Now, what I'm going to do is demonstrate the missiles because I haven't done that yet. So I've done one lock, so that's 2. So now what that means now, when I actually press fire, it will actually fire 2 missiles. Way overkill, but it's just for the demonstration purpose. Now you can do more than one, you know, you can go berserk and, you know, fire a whole entire load if you really want to. But, to be fair, one, it seems to be always enough, whether using dumbfires or whatever missiles you're using in most cases. So the other thing that I really like about this ship, it does have very, very good maneuverability. Now, I know I did start the video in the flight test part saying that actually, do you know what, aiming the fixed mount's very difficult. But I think if you put this against a ship that is maybe like for like on size, you then start to see why this ship is really, really good. And it definitely is. One of the challenging things I had with this ship was the overheating of the guns, which was quite annoying. Maybe it was annoying because I wanted to turn off the voice, because it keeps telling me I'm overheating when I sort of know I'm overheating, if that makes any sense. But I'm sure there's some modifications you can make to reduce the amount you overheat on particular weapons. For the actual fixed weapons, the way that I've been using them, I've been using them as a sort of a bit of a shotgun, really. I try and lead the target every now and again, but it's very, very challenging. The second great thing about this ship, it's quite a tank, you know. It can take quite a few hits. I mean, even in this round, I mean, because you're going against a lot of smaller fighters, once you go into the bigger class battles, and what I mean is at some point, Star Citizen are going to have to tier Arena Commander. Otherwise, what's going to happen is it's not really fair at the moment for someone in a starter ship to go against a Cutlass or, let's say, for instance, a Delta. So I think that there's going to have to be some sort of matchmaking to some extent to equal it out. And I think once that happens further down the line, I think that the Cutlass is going to be a really, really good ship. There's no doubt about that. Now, you can actually change the weapon loadouts and change the weapons if need be, but all my flight tests always do it off the stock weapons, because otherwise you could be sitting there configuring it forever. So you've got to keep in mind, the Cutlass can carry quite a lot of freight units, more than any ship so far in Arena Commander, and it can still sort of tango with some of these smaller fighters and still come off pretty well. Let's say, for instance, you're flying through space and you've got some cargo to deliver. This is going to be a fantastic ship because you can definitely defend yourself in this. I mean, you could even take out, let's say, 3 fighters. I mean, I would say that could easily be doable. 10 out of 10. Looking forward to seeing the Freelancer as well. That's going to be a fantastic one. I suppose the next video I'm probably going to do now is the Delta. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.